background checks for education. So in this video we're going to go over the background check options people have available at the state level and the county level to do education based background checks, whatever they may be, looking up teachers, looking up students, just people in general. I'm going to use the state of Arizona for this example. Most states will have a very similar process. Let's just pick a state here, and what you have is you have local resources at the state level, and I'm going to go over some of the crucial record types when it comes to background checks. That would be court records, criminal records. In certain situations, maybe a driving record needs to be checked. Business lookup, if somebody claims they have a business, or if maybe some sort of licensing needs to be checked out. You have prison records and sexual offender registry. At the county level, you're also able to look up court records and jail records, like recent arrests, mugshots, things like that, property records. So another thing, if somebody is trying to look up, say, a teacher, you can also Google Arizona teacher lookup and find an official database that can be used. In this case, the state of Arizona does offer a educator search, so you're able to look up to make sure there is nothing concerning about the at least in the Arizona Department of Education department. One thing to keep in mind is that people do move from state to state, so if you're able to look up somebody's previous state or previous addresses, you might be able to find that somebody has maybe some negative things coming out of another state. Just to keep that in mind when it comes to doing these types of checks. You have some other essential things like criminal records, and a lot of times states will give you an opportunity to run a background check. It will a lot of times limit that check to that state in particular, so if somebody has moved from a different state, it might not necessarily cover it. They do have sometimes options for a nationwide check, which includes the FBI criminal database, and they usually will charge like an additional fee for that. So there is quite a few options when it comes to what the state has to offer. They're typically going to be very similar. When it comes to court records, and let me go to a court specific page, you have multiple courts that process different record types. So if you want to look at low level crimes like misdemeanors, you want to look at justice of peace records. If you want to look at maybe more severe criminal cases like felonies, you got to go to the superior court, and whatever they don't come to a conclusion on in the lower courts, they will get passed up to the higher level courts like the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. And so what Sheriff's Department has for you is that we sorted out all the databases by the court type, and we'll let you know if there is an online access to look at those records, or to look at least maybe a docket type of a search. Sometimes for a complete record you'll have to make a special request, and or you have to come into the county court office, and they'll have special terminals, and we let you know if those terminals are available for the public to use. A lot of times this could be searched for free. And so yeah, just pay attention to whatever you're searching for. If you're just interested in like felony, criminal type of activities, you want to make sure you're looking at the correct court. And so we have sorted all this information out for you. This is official from the state, from the local counties, whatever state you may be researching in. A couple other databases to consider: sexual offender registry. Each state will have one. possibly maybe even at the local level, county sheriff's departments will sometimes carry their own database, but these can be researched for free, and every state has one. You also have an inmate database. This is for prisoners. If somebody gets sentenced to over a year, that's pretty much they're going to be in the prison system. If it's under a year, it's in the jail system. So it doesn't cover every single inmate. It covers the inmates that end up going to the Department of Correction prison system. So not the local like sheriff's jail. So keep that in mind when if this type of information is of interest. So we have quite a few record types that can be researched directly from the state. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the description. You can also type sheriffsdepartment.net into your browser and start on your search.